Hey everyone, today we're going to cover the devastating floods that are going on in Townsville. If you're a resident of Townsville, my heart goes out to you and your families. Stay safe. For those property investors out there, this video is going to dive a little bit more into Townsville, where the flood zones are, and what you could do while you wait for the storm to pass by. The first step that you need to do is take a look at the Townsville flood map to determine where your property is. Is it in the black zone, pink zone, or in any other zone? Importantly, what's happened so far is the Townsville Council has come out and asked those in black zones to evacuate by 12 p.m. today. But before you freak out, if your property's in the black zone, it doesn't necessarily mean that it will flood for sure. In fact, there's many pockets of the black zone that didn't flood in previous cycles. So what you could do is you could take a look at the Townsville flood map. The website's down in the bio, so you can have a look. But there's another thing you also need to check, which is the aerial flood maps from 2019. There's often a little bit of a discrepancy between what you see in the aerial shots and what we then see in the council shots. So what we do at Handle Properties is we usually compare both to make sure an investment property is secure. Now, if they are in any kind of flood zone, the next thing you should do is check if you have an insurance policy in place that's currently active, and check what it covers you for in terms of flood risks. Many insurance policies have a 72-hour exclusion for cyclone coverage. So if you purchased one recently, just make sure you go into the details and check what that is. If your property is not in a black zone, it doesn't necessarily mean it's safe either. Now, properties in the pink zone are so far okay, but there are many roads around Townsville that have already started flooding that are outside the black zone. So how do you keep best updated? Well, in the Townsville Council website, there's a few different sections that you probably want to look at. The first is emergency news, just to see the latest updates from a higher level. The second thing is probably road closures. It'll give you a pretty good idea of which roads and what suburbs are flooding, and then you can work out the proximity of your property to that flood zone. And then the final thing is there are a few traffic cameras throughout Townsville where you can check the flood levels currently. Unfortunately, they're pretty sparse, so there's not much you can make out of it unless your property is located close by. Have a look anyway to see if there's any useful information. But similarly to black zone property investors, you need to make sure that you check that you have an insurance policy in place and you understand the particulars of what it covers. Now, you can't actually go and get a new insurance policy now with many of the insurance providers in Townsville. Most insurance providers have black zone Townsville, which means you can't open up a new policy. But even if you did, read the T's and C's, because in many of those insurance policies, they have claims to say that the insurance must have been around for at least 72 hours or longer before a predetermined event. So everyone, please keep your eyes and ears to the ground. Let's see what happens. If you've got any questions about whether your property's in the flood zone or you're concerned about what to do next, reach out. We're happy to chat, whether you're a client of ours or not. And for those people who want a bit more information on the due diligence that you should be doing in future to avoid flood zone properties, similarly, drop a DM and we'll get back to you soon. So everyone, please stay safe and let's hope this cyclone passes through very quickly.